Okay, so welcome everyone to the next episode of Visionary New Earth Leaders podcast. And I'm really excited to have my beautiful friend and guest here, Ayo. And I'm going to kind of hand you straight over to her so that she can introduce herself, who she is, what she does, and what she loves doing in this world.
Well, thank you so much for having me first on your podcast. And also, thank you for arranging the space for us to be together on a Friday. I don't know when people are going to watch this, but this is very special to me because I'm just in the mood of relaxation and getting ready for the weekend. About me, I am a serial entrepreneur with over 13 years of experience in the marketing and online space. I've worked for massive corporations like National Geographic, Microsoft, Reuters, Vice magazine, all of them. And one day I woke up, and even though I was living my life dream, I was living in a penthouse in Cape Town, I was traveling the world working for Nat Geo, I didn't feel happy, fulfilled, and in my ultimate power. And so I decided to say F off everything and start my own business. Prior to that, I had a lot of experience freelancing, so it wasn't brand new experience. My intention was just to impact as many people as possible. But as I love to say, you can help people by being anything. You can be a plumber, you can be a dentist, you can be a doctor. So why this? And for me, it was really walking in my purpose and in my path, my life mission to support as many women as possible. I have a marketing agency that is absolutely crushing it. And I also have a mentoring and coaching business. I help predominantly women, but I also train teams in how to do mindful marketing. That's how I call it, magnetic mindful marketing and soulful sales, so that people can create their dream business. And I am a living, breathing example of that. You can really have a dream business and a profitable business and still live your life and feel good and just love everything about it.
Yeah, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction.
My
We're going to
pleasure.
talk today mainly about really having it all and being
Mm-hmm.
able to hold
Mm-hmm.
all the different things in your life and your business at the same time
Mm-hmm.
without getting burnt out and do it profitably, do it successfully, feeling good, literally have it all. And I think that's something that a lot of people talk about online, and then not actually many people get there right now. Wait, they are maybe on their way, but actually not many are actually a walking example of this, because I speak to a lot of successful entrepreneurs who their health is suffering or their relationships is
Mm-hmm.
suffering or some sort of other burnout has happened because I believe that they've just done it maybe the way they knew it, but without realizing what that was going to do to their health and to their relationships. So let's just dive into that, shall we? Because I think you've experienced that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you share some of your story, Ayo, so that people
Mm-hmm.
really feel connected to, to
Mm-hmm.
you and what you have experienced so far in life and business.
Mm. Well, thank you
Mm,
so much for this question because it's so important and it's
mm,
going to turn into a bigger thing because we in general are witnessing an era where mental health is massive. In fact, I shared in a post a couple of weeks ago that World War number 3 is here, and that is the war on our mental health and how we feel. And so, two things that I wanted to mention that and just point them, just pin them on the top of what you said was one, having it all, and the second one, doing it without burning out and still feeling good and connected and happy.
mm,
With the having it all part, I think that this is such an intense topic with so much charge of everybody saying something, but what does it really mean to have it all? For different people, that's very different. So for example, for me, having it all is freedom, being able to travel, being able to have a profitable business that also make me feel good. I'm very busy, and when the day is done, when I go to bed, I want to feel good and I want to feel okay, this feels good. I might be exhausted and tired, but I know that I'm going to sleep good and I'm going to feel good. For me, having it all means helping other women, helping other people also create that wealth in their life. It means supporting my family. It means being here and being present with life. It doesn't mean necessarily, having the family or kids or even a spouse. So let's first determine what does having it all mean, because for everybody else it's something different. And here's the thing: some of us want to be billionaires, multi-millionaires, but some don't, and that's perfectly fine. So first, with having it all, in order not to burn out and to feel good, you will have to ask yourself, what is my version of having it all? Because I've chased having it all with seeing who else what they have and thinking, oh, this is my having it all. But then I had to become very honest with myself and ask myself, what is having it all, and not be shameful or feel guilty around that, because that also adds the burnout and the exhaustion. And asking yourself the question, do I want this? So for me, when I was the owner of a very successful 7-figure marketing agency, I had a team of 20 people and so many clients, and I had to manage so many things. And I had to ask myself at one point, is this what I really want? And now having a marketing agency is not for the faint-hearted. So it's a very different business model than anything, and it's a very difficult business model. Okay. So I was going through a lot of success financially and boosting the company, but I was exhausted, and I was exhausted specifically because of the energy in the company, the energy with the clients, how people react, feedbacks, and putting down fires every single day. And for some people handle this okay, but I don't. I'm so grateful it's Friday. Back in the days, Friday will be a wrap-up day. The whole team will get together. Everybody will freak out because this is not completed. This is not completed. And the client is freaking out. And the landing page looks like, and then this and this. And it was so, imagine the weekend. You don't have a weekend.
Stressful. There is no space for relaxation.
No.
So I'm sure that some people listening to this may actually be in employment still, and some people are running their businesses, and they can probably really sort of, identify themselves with this. And I think what's important here is the energy around how we do things, right? So what changed? Because everyone who knows me knows I'm the energy expert. So I'll let you explain how that was for you in your own words. So that was happening. It was hard work, as in terms of stressful. There was a lot of pressure, intensity that had to change, because that type of energy will then start depleting the body, depleting the mind, the mindset, depleting your spirit. The purpose that you did in the first place will feel crushed, probably. So tell us how things changed.
Well, the first thing that changed was sitting with myself and admitting that I'm not happy with that, because for an overachiever, it was very difficult to say, oh, this is not serving me. I don't like this. I need to let go of this. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to betray so many people. People going to feel disappointed when I say, okay, we need to shut this down. I'm not going to push this anymore. And so first it was sitting with myself and asking myself how I want things to be. So that was number one. The second thing that came in my existence was the fear, because I had this tremendously successful business, and now I'm like, I'm just going to burn everything down and I'm going to start from zero. Moving to the coaching space more and the mentoring space. And many people might think, oh, well, it's the same thing. No, it's not. It's a very different business model. Everything is so different. So the second thing was trust, turning fear into trust and into faith that I can have it all. And I was prepared. If I'm going to have it all, it means put on your big girl panties, and saying, in the first 3 months, it might be very challenging. And it was, because first month, everybody, I remember almost every single client dropped out. Okay, bye-bye. Second month, it's like everything has to be rebuilt. Like imagine rebuilding and rebuilding, and then everything drops down. And so energetically, I had to hold this. So it's like, I don't know if you've seen this GIF with this girl where the house is on fire in the back and she's with this mean smile in the front.
I think
This little girl that looks like a psychopath. Well, that was me. I was the psychopath who was, everything is burning and everything is falling down and everything is just a hot mess. And I'm just like, it's going to work. And I remember it was around this time last year. And so March was a little bit wobbly. April was like, okay, we go. And then May exploded with success and new people coming in, and I felt so good. But the first two things was first staying in my truth and saying what I want, because the universe the whole time is listening to your internal conversation, and she's like, oh, okay, got it, here's the thing, okay, got it, here's the thing. And then you have to just be honest. And then the second thing is facing fear and preparing your body, mind, spirit, so everything to hold the contrast and have it all and have it and have everything, but just be very grounded in your faith. So but I think faith is also this level of truth as well, because you know what's true. You believe in the true story for yourself. So truth was a massive thing for me.
Yeah, well, it's believing that you're going to change it and make it, you know, create something different.
I didn't believe. I didn't. I knew.
You knew.
That was the difference. I don't believe anymore in things.
You just
I
know.
believe when I doubt. That's when I say, I believe. You see the energy between, I believe it's going to rain today. And then say, I know it's going to rain.
You're right. Yeah. No, you know, though, I know exactly what you're saying because I just know as well. Like I am growing the membership right now. Like I just know. I know in my body it's going to be like this, like that, like that. Like I just know. So I know what you mean there. Now, what's really interesting here, because I'd like to get some practical sort of advice. So what did you do for yourself? Like, because obviously you set up some new values or like some new rules about what you actually want, for sure. You must have made that quite clear to yourself and to the universe. I'm doing it on my terms. I'm doing it with boundaries. I'm doing it, you know, I'm doing it in a different energy. Did you do that? Like, is that,
absolutely.
Then what other steps did you take? Because people are like, how did you do that without freaking out? And, you know, so did you do any?
I had some meltdowns, okay? Let's not lie to anybody. You know me. I'm as honest as I can possibly be. Everybody knows my laundry, but I did freak out a couple of times, and then I came back and I was fine. Here's the thing. It's okay to freak out. That's okay. It's okay to lose your shit. Sorry for my French.
Yes.
It's okay to lose your, you know, but what is important is once you lose the shit and then you find yourself. So what I did was I became very clear on my intention. So I have a list, it's called my life script. So that was the time when I sat down, and I was looking here because I wanted to, yes, there it is, my witchy. So I created this book where I literally wrote down my life script. And I wonder if there's date.
This is so good. I love this.
I wonder if there's dates.
I have similar.
But anyway, so I wrote down everything I want and how I want it to look like, how I want the brand to look like, how I want the content, the delivery, what kind of clients. I wrote down absolutely everything. That was the first thing. The second thing that I did was to just have very honest conversations with anybody, because here's the thing. I wanted to exit the space where I don't feel comfortable with no baggage. So wanted to step in the new, not feeling like, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that. So my energy was super light, super squeaky clean energy. Then I made a commitment to myself that if something doesn't feel good, I would just not do it. Because the truth is, the problem is not that you attract things. The problem is that you tolerate the things that you've attracted. Because here's the thing, you've attracted them and then you're like, no, bye. but
Yes.
you're like, oh, let me just,
Yes,
wait for
there's a lack.
another.
Exactly. Do you know, this is a lack of boundary, and I
Yeah.
think lack of really sticking to your
Mm-hmm.
gut.
Mm-hmm.
I have such a good example on this. I just want to say this. My husband he builds beautiful outdoor spaces, like with the, outdoor kitchen and the garden rooms and yoga studio, all like lovely. Anyway, if clients are not squeaky clean and they seem to already show some sort of problems with payments and things like that in the beginning, he goes, sorry, we're too busy.
Yeah. Yes.
So he's
And you
like, I
see, he's
don't,
doing it like a guy
yes,
because he's
he's
a
like,
man.
he's a
Yeah.
man. He's like, we can't take the job
Yeah.
on. I'm really sorry. I do the same. If there's any issues with someone, I'm like, oh, no, I'm really sorry. I'll
Yes.
send you over here instead. Not meaning I
Yeah.
send them to a friend, but
Mm-hmm.
like, I think you should do this. So I
Yeah.
give them a recommendation or something. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Exactly. And so, yes, boundaries is another thing that's so
Yeah.
important. And I remember back in the days, I've always had solid boundaries, but they were a little bit wobbly also with the people that I had in the team. So my co-founder was a little bit wobbly in her boundaries. So that was affecting me. I'm the boundary boss.
Yeah.
But what happened, like even a few days ago, I had a client who approached me to get her website done. And after I closed my agency, I had very strict rules of work only starts when the full payment, like no 10%, 50%, you pay the full payment and then work starts. And then there's a very tight process. And by the way, processes really help your how you feel, because let's not forget that we're human beings. We operate based on processes and habits that we repeat. Atomic Habits, please read that book. It's incredible and it really helps a lot. So my client is saying, can I pay 50% and then I will pay 50% when the work is done? I said, no, unfortunately, I cannot do that because, and I explained politely what's happening. But here's the thing, I also, the way things changed also compared to last year is a very high level of communications. And we had a conversation before this started of speaking my truth again, and in a way that the other person will understand. So I'm very authentic in what I'm saying, in a way that I don't judge you, I don't hurt you, I don't mean to belittle you, but I'm telling you, hey, I can't do this because I'm also paying my team members. There are people all over the world who wait on me to put food on their table, literally. So I can't do that. And people understand this. It's not like, no, I can't do this. You're going to pay me the full thing. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. That's another
No, but there
language.
is, you have put a process in place of how it
Exactly.
works.
And they feel that. And so she was like, I totally understand. And she wired the money instantaneously within like 10 minutes. Going back to other things that I did last year, one of the massive things that was keeping me very grounded was I started doing the emotion code.
Yes.
And I first started with a practitioner and we were doing it on weekly basis. So for those of you who don't know, the emotion code is a method that tracks where you have trapped emotions in your body.
Very good. It's very somatic, isn't it? So it's brilliant.
Extremely somatic.
So
And the
good.
thing is, you don't have to do something. The practitioner taps into your subconscious mind, and it happens very fast. The results are very fast. So what happened once we did, and I did months of work, it was incredible because I could see things shifting literally hours after that. I'm speaking about big money transactions that will take weeks of me chatting to the person, like transactions of over $100,000 coming in after a session like that.
Wow.
And it also cleared so many things within me because I was not very conscious of what I'm trapping on a daily basis. And so that was one of the things I even became certified so that I can do it on myself all the time. So the minute I feel something, I can clear the space. Burnout doesn't happen always because we're not happy. Sorry, I just want to close something here because I hear the sounds. Burnout doesn't happen because we are not happy. You can be happy and very fulfilled in your work. It's just that your body, this thing here, is not always prepared to handle all this energy that comes. And so we have to expand the body as well. We have to prepare the body to welcome. Because here's the thing, you can be a bajillionaire, and your body might collapse.
Yes.
Because you're a bajillionaire, because you cannot welcome this energy, and I've seen it.
Yeah. Let's talk about that actually, because this is an interesting thing. Because money is just energy like anything else. And I think if you are the CEO and the leader of your business, this is not just about money. You know, this is about holding a space without holding, like you're not people hold themselves, like, you know, there's a sovereignty element in this, right? They need to be, you know, holding themselves, but it is an energy holding everything in a sense. And let's talk about that a little bit, because I think this stretching of the energy is something that has to happen as you grow the business.
Yeah.
And as you stretch the energy more and more, you can hold more and more. Tell me what you think about that, you know, and what's happened for you.
Well, my biggest takeaway with this experience as a human being is very interesting, by the way. So before I hit 7 figures in my business 2 years ago, in all honesty, I was very frustrated that I'm not doing it. And it wasn't clear for me. And I was doing a lot of work with energy healers to understand why this is not happening, because everything was in place. So everything, strategy, every single thing, every element is there. And so I started working with my energy healer, and she was telling me, Ayo, your human being is not ready for this. And it triggered the F out of me so much, because my being is ready, my spirit, my God, everybody is ready. And now this little teeny tiny mini itsy bitsy human being is not ready. And my experience, this has been the biggest energetic thing that I've been dealing with in this human body and with business, was that my human body was not ready. And it was very, very triggering, because you cannot push this. You can't force it. It is literally a process. It's almost like going to the gym. You can't force yourself to squat with 100 kilos when you've been squatting with 10, and then you're like, you collapse and you fall. And so I had to work on expanding the energy that this body, because energy goes the whole time. You transmute energy the whole time. And here's the thing, you can be very powerful human being. You might have been through everything in the world. You might be holding a lot of people, but that also means that maybe there isn't a lot of space for you to hold all that money. And so when people come to me and they say, I want to quantum leap, and I'm like, are you sure? Because I've seen people quantum leap and then they fall down and it hurts so bad because they're not ready. I had one client, when she came to me, she was still in the 9 to 5. And when we started working, in the first 10 days, she closed over 21 people in her business, which resulted in almost $30,000. She has never seen so much money in her life within 10 days. And then she freaked out. She freaked out that the business didn't have the strategy. She got sick. Her child got sick. Everything collapsed. And I told her, I'm not going to mention the name, but I told her, I told you this will happen because we haven't prepared your human, your business. We haven't prepared you for a quantum leap. And quantum leap is this shiny, fancy thing that everybody uses. It's quantum leap. But then we don't know if that person is ready to quantum leap. And so if somebody's watching, from personal experience, I can tell you, if things are not happening as fast as you want, maybe your human is not ready to hold the space for all that, to hold the responsibility, because more money and a more success in business means more responsibility. Many people don't understand that, because there's this fake thing going on in the online space, how easy it is and how flowy it is. Oh, well, we've seen people who are really big, people slam the F out of them. It's so ugly to see how they talk bad in the comments and all that. So this human being needs to hold us. I was looking an ad of Tony Robbins the other day, who's coming to the UK.
Yeah.
And I was planning to come. And underneath, oh my goodness, the people were just like bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. And I'm like, okay, exactly. I was like, okay, you can think whatever you want to think about Tony Robbins, but this is a billionaire. who's helping the world, transformed millions of lives, works with the elite. He's done so much. He has really helped. He is
Lots
here.
of people,
You're here.
yeah.
You're here with your day. And no, I don't want to throw shade on anybody. If that's the life that you choose, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But imagine you're not prepared and you have to hold the trolling. Why do you think so many stars go crazy? Because they can't
hold the energy of the
hold the
fame.
energy.
Yeah. And
They
they
can't
haven't
hold it.
coached. They haven't got
No.
right coaches. They haven't
No.
got the right healers and the energy
Yep.
workers.
And it's not only people telling shit in the comments, it's also people thinking it.
Yes.
Like they see your stuff and they think about it.
Exactly. Yeah. So the amount of energetic projection and psychic attack that happens to people that are successful is quite enormous, probably. So they have to either get that sorted and be on top of that, I would believe, and have their own methods and people and mentors or whatever, like, set up. And I'm sure some of them are suffering, actually don't feel good. It does affect their mental health. It does affect parts of their life because of this.
Yeah, I had 3 curses that came after we've hit 7 figures, and I was not speaking about it because I come from a culture where you don't speak about money. That's my culture. And also we don't speak about money because the evil eye. And even though I've lived for 13 years all over the world, it's still something in me. So I don't
like, cultural thing.
Yes, I don't like speaking about money and success because it's like, be careful because they're going to jinx it. Yeah. But because of also expanding, and I wanted to share my story and tell people, look at me, I came from Bulgaria, this is what I've achieved. Yes. And people don't believe, so there had to be screenshots of the money, of this and that and that. And when I started working, because I've been working with the same energy healer for now 3 years, and after that we found 3 curses, money curses. And one was from a client, ex-client, and I exactly know who that person is. Then we found a curse from an ex-business partner. And then we found a curse from random people. Like an evil eye that's been looking. And when she removed it, I got extremely sick after that. Yeah, because your energy had told it. I had exactly the same thing. So I had something, it's probably about a year ago now, and I knew it was going on, and I kept going to my energy healer because I can do some on myself, but it's best if someone else helped me, right? Yeah. And I had this as well, and this was like a psychic attack. This is similar to what you said. Yeah. And I mean, I actually felt a lot better after it was removed, but it was really, really draining for about 6 months. And I knew it was happening, but I had no evidence. And then a client reported back to me about something she heard about this person that I believed it was, which I knew it was, but I didn't, I didn't say it because I had no evidence. And then that was confirmed. Wow. By actually somebody has heard it and reported back to me, I need to tell you something, Gennye. I was like, I knew it. And then it was like a next level of clearing it, because it was more like, right, all the guns in, do you know what I mean? Get it all out, sort it out, put that person in its place as well. Bang, 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 bang. So it was like this sort of thing. So I believe that, energetically, even if we don't just look, we're all spiritual beings having a human experience, of course, in my opinion, but we all have the duality of the world, the dark and the light. So we need to hold the dark and the light, right? And I do believe also you're very powerful in your energy. So obviously there would have been maybe past lives and other things that could have, arranging itself to this in this life to clear up, so it all happens for the reason. It's not to be completely mean to you, there is something that you needed to experience to clear and to raise to your next level. And it's always the case, but I think prepare ourselves. Brace yourself for the impact.
Yeah, for the impact. Yeah, exactly. So not to scare people, but do you know what I mean? Obviously both of you may have had it. I'm sure lots of other people had it. And it's having the ability to, I suppose, sense it and then move on and go, okay, that was interesting, that happened, and then just kind of move on and stay in your lane. You know, this is the thing, right? If everyone stayed in their lane, it will be a lot easier, right? But people don't always stay in their lane. So let's talk about this having it all for other people, because we talked about energy and how to stretch it. So for example, I have to have I have two children, I have a family, I have a lot of other things to, you know, put in place every day that I have to make sure happens, as well as my business. So I'm sure there's some listeners that will hear this. To me, to have it all means that I am present and I am in a good energy when I'm with everyone else, apart from my clients, right? So this is, I think, is an important thing, what you said in the beginning about actually making a list of what is it? What is having it all to me? You know, that piece of having a stressed moment with the kids, or even in your maybe in your situation with clients, because you have not put things in place to feel good about yourself, then we're not really having it all then, are we? Then it's we have moments, we can all have moments, but do you know what I mean? So yeah, what's your advice to mums having 4 kids business? I know that you don't have children, but look, because you built
I
a big
don't,
business.
but it's funny then most of the women that I work with, they do have
Exactly, so you can come from
and
it.
some even have 5 or 6 kids, and I'm trying to arrange a Nobel Prize for this women because I don't know how they do it. So what I notice with the women who I work with is that, and it's so beautiful to notice how when we first work, as we said, on mastery, self-mastery, regulating the nervous system, regulating how they respond to things, but also a higher level of communication. Communication is so important, and we keep on coming back to this. It's funny how we've been just speaking about this off record and on record. But I noticed when women learn first how to be honest with themselves of what they want and to understand that you will disappoint people, there's nothing wrong with that. It will happen. First, come to terms with this and the shame and the guilt around that. Then the second thing for me and what I see with them is when they have this truth in them and authenticity, and they know that whatever happens, I'm just going to be true about how I feel and what's going on. It allows them to be themselves and they can relax more. So that's one thing. The second thing I teach all of my clients is reset. Okay. Reset is very important. So never ever after a call or a meeting or anything, just get up and go and do things. Reset for 10 seconds. And the reset could be very fast. It could be literally taking deep breaths. And what I do is I take 2 deep breaths, one after another, like, and I hold it and then I release. So 2, and then you release. Or it could be simply going back into the body. So you speak with people, you interact, business is going on, and then you just sit down and you connect with yourself, and then you ground yourself. And then the third thing that I do is a somatic practice, which is literally, I don't know if you've seen dogs, but dogs, when something happens, they shake it off. And so I get up and I literally shake my body off.
Yeah, I love that.
And this reset, then I'm totally different in what is happening. And the other element of having it all and also being present with your family, this is going to be totally and 100% strategy and process based, is going to be for you. And this is for everybody who has difficulties focusing, who is experiencing like they can't just be present with things, is to always, this is a very, very useful practice that I do. In the beginning of the day, I only write down 3 things that I have to do. Even though I just shared with you, I have a bajillion things for today, but I normally write only 3 things that I do know in my heart and soul.
Me
3 things.
too. Me too.
Yeah.
We do the same. It's so easy then.
3 things that in my heart and soul, I know that if I do that, I will not feel guilty if I'm present with everything else. I can go and read a book.
Yeah.
I can be with my kids. I know that this will move the business. And it's 3 things that have to do specifically for business. I'm going to give you this. Only my clients know that. So this is a gift. The number 1 thing will be content. So making 1,000% sure that a piece of content will go out today, whatever it is. There's so many easy ways to produce content, but it's content. So first things first, whatever happens in my day, there should be a piece of content going. What if it's going to be an email? What if it's going to be just a background story? What if it's going to be just anything, but some kind of a piece of content has to go out. The second thing is, if you have existing clients, to make sure that your clients are being taken care of. So are you going to go and check your clients? What is happening with them? Are they okay? A big percentage of everybody's business, not only mine, but if you look at the most successful businesses out there, it is reoccurring clients. So it is much easier to retain a happy client than to get a new client.
That's right.
By now, everybody should know this. And so taking care of your client, I have referrals. Some people will refer 10, 15 people to me. That has happened to me. In fact, in my highest cash months, it's when somebody says, hey, you need to work with her. Even yesterday, I had late night, somebody connected with me, and she's a friend of a one-on-one client with me. So the second thing has to be clients. Make sure that you take care of existing clients that you have, or you think of, can I upsell this client? Can I do something? Can I run something for my existing clients? I do that very often. So I just have an idea and I'm like, boom, I should offer this to my existing clients, and it's only for them. This price is only for them. And that's it. And they love it because they see that I take care of them. And then the last thing, the third thing, is sales. So I need to make sure that I'm going to do one task that is going to produce sales. So this could be either content, which I've already done. So I've posted a post where I directly invite you to do something. So there is call to action. Or it could be a live stream where I speak about my program, or it could be a story where I directly sell, or it could be an email, or it could be, I have this bundle. What if I run a promo? Or I have this masterclass and this master, and what if I bundle it and then I send it to, what if I do this? What if I do this? So how can I guarantee some sales? What do I do with the intention today specifically to sell? If you do these 3 things every single day in business, or it could be a connection, it could be, hi Gennye, this is so amazing, let's connect with each other and have a call. Anything that drives a sale. So you're very intentional with that. So what happens when you have these 3 elements, and let me tell you something, I've done this in 30 minutes. Bam, 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 30 minutes. It takes 30 minutes for all these 3 things. If you're very intentional and you know exactly what to do, you drop the phone, and then even from my phone, and then you're like, okay, I've done my content, I've connected with clients, or I've offered them something, or I had an upsell, or I asked them, hey, what do you think about this? Or, hey, I'm doing a retreat, would you join this? With existing clients already. And did I sell today? Directly, not just a wishy-washy message, but did I say directly, you should buy this because it's really good, and here's why.
Exactly.
Yes. So when you do this, you can go and spend as much as you want with your kids and not feel guilty.
And not feel guilty. Exactly. I mean, look, when I say 3 things, I may not say these 3 things, but I'm going to say those now. But I do say about content every day. I do say that. I do say about selling bluntly, as in like, hey, have you thought about this?
Right.
Here's the link, or ask for the link or whatever. I mean, I could probably say I do it 3 times, or at least 3 out of 5 days a week. I suppose Saturday, Sunday, probably I don't, but maybe I should.
Whatever vibes with you, it's different. It's different vibes. It depends.
So it depends. But also, if I did want to do it, I'll do it as well. It's also, if there's a promotion, I'll obviously run it and make sure I talk about it. But yeah, no, I love that so much. So let's round this up, and I would love for you, so in terms of business, mastering business, energetics, success, profit, all the things for a woman, if every single woman were listening on the planet right now, what would you tell them? Because they're all going to be different.
I will tell them to create a business with themselves in mind first and reverse engineer the process. So everybody tells you, create your why, go and help people, go and create this, go and find something that is popular. No, reverse engineer. I want to wake up every morning at 8 a.m. I want to go to the beach. I want to do this. Reverse engineer and create a business, a dream business that makes you feel happy. It is designed, everything about this business is around you, and it embraces you and it supports you. Instead, you go and run a business that actually runs you, and do it with your whole heart, do it with your whole body, do it. Be selfish. Even if you have to tell people to F off, I'm working on my future, do that. Be unapologetic, stand out, speak your truth, be bold. Don't listen to what people tell you it's going to work out, it's not going to work out. Well, listen to the right people, because sometimes, you know, some people tell us the truth about things, but most of all, do it. And don't do it for your kids. Don't choose the kids for your why.
No, do it for you.
Do it for you, whatever. And even don't even do it for, I just want to change the whole world. Do business for you, because I'm going to be very honest with you, when shit hits the fan and it's difficult, it's going to be very difficult for you to continue pushing if something is serving the whole world but it's not serving you. So be selfish. That's what I'm going to tell women.
Yes.
Today my message is going to
Be selfish.
be selfish.
Yeah, because from that place, you can serve the world and you
Yes.
can serve the kids as well, but you've got to put yourself first and be really happy with what you're creating. And that's going to ripple and drip into all the other places if you have also another vision about it, right? But
put the mask first on your face. That's what they say in the plane.
In the airplane. Yeah.
We are seeing now a generation of women who are chronically unhappy, and the reason for that is because they are putting first everybody else, even the dog and the cat, and then they come first. And there's nothing wrong with that. Society has brainwashed women. Why is it okay for men?
Yeah, they would go and play golf for the, you know, Fridays and Saturdays, and then put themselves at work and then have the food served up, and the woman is running around. This is just, so I think things are changing, and it's quite interesting actually. We have one more thing to say here, I feel, because something else came through. Even genetically, the kids are programmed to ask the mum. You know, it is so interesting. My husband and myself have not programmed our children to that I'm doing it. It's literally like we are sharing the things. I might do more things for them because I want to, but it's because I'm better at it or something, you know, do you know what I mean? I feel like I am. There was a conversation, my son said something, it was something about, well, I said, well, why don't you go and do that yourself, or ask daddy? He said, well, no, that's what you would do for me as a mum. And it was, I can't actually remember exactly what it was. It didn't trigger me. It could have triggered me, but it didn't. I was like, oh my God, that's so interesting. He's only 8 years old and he says this. I've never said this to him, and my husband have never said it to him. It is a generational encoding in their like subconscious, you know? I was like, and then I sat him down and said, because I'm like, I'm not going to trigger, you know, I'm not going to get triggered here. I'm going to talk to him. So I said, oh, that's really interesting, Johan. Can I talk to you about this? And he's like, yeah. He was literally, and we had this conversation. Since then, he's never said anything like that again, because I explained, and he was like, okay, I get it. He's very advanced, you know, child, like in terms of being very intuitive and things like this.
Well, with a mom like that, what do you expect?
Exactly. But it was so interesting because I have this level of consciousness. I could watch it and I don't get triggered, and I just go, wow, this is generational patterns that are actually in their blood, which we can change, but
Yeah.
it could actually even sips through or over into a family where that never's been mentioned. He hasn't heard that anywhere else, and it's come from some encoding.
Absolutely. And I commend you for the fact that you were curious and that way
Yes.
of parenting, that way of approaching life with curiosity. So instead of jumping on the person, but to ask them, why do you think like that?
Yeah.
So that changes the whole game. And just to wrap up this conversation of including the dads and including the masculine and what's happening, there's a deeper meaning to that. So that is not with the idea to be a feminist or
Sure.
who runs the world, bloody da
No,
da.
no, no.
This is what I believe. I believe that if males step up more, if they're more inclusive in the way their kids are being raised, you are creating an adult who will not have the trauma which is available now for 90% of this population on the world of the missing dad, of the dad who's not there. And there's so much trauma around that, that if we eliminate this, and here's the thing, most of men, they're not even guilty or it's not their fault because they don't even realize that they have been programmed like that. So now it sips through the whole line. And so I believe that if we manage for this planet to have the masculine and the feminine, which is very nurturing and there for their children and there for their kids equally. Yes, the mom might be better to do the pancakes because the kids like more mama's pancakes.
Sure.
Then the dad might be better to, I don't know, grill some potatoes or whatever you prefer. Or yes, we could have as kids this thing that only daddy knows how to do, only mommy knows.
Sure, which is fine.
Which is fine. But if we have this co-parenting, conscious co-parenting, when both parents are very present, we will change this world because everybody is fucking traumatized from their childhood, big time, and generationally traumatized as well. As you mentioned, it just goes through the family line. That was another thing that I had to deal with a lot because I wasn't conscious and because I've traveled so much, but it's still in my DNA. And I don't associate myself with specific culture and specific things. But when we work through trauma with my therapist and with my energy healer, we see things that are specific for the culture.
Yes, of course. And it's like, put your hands up and go, right, this generational stuff is actually stopping me moving forward. We need to clear it up. The amount of generational stuff I've cleared, it's like ancestral. So we can really change the world by changing ourselves, for sure.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Even your DNA, even if you change your DNA, especially for those of you who are planning to procreate and have babies, and those of you who have babies, the DNA is so important. It is in your body with the emotion code that we mentioned in the beginning. All this is stored in here, in the flesh, in your skin, in your nails, and the great thing is that you can change that. Even if you have something that you see in your parents and you see in the culture, you can change it consciously and it will change in your DNA, and then it will not pass into your kids and then into their kids. And just imagine the amazing society that we will build with humans that are born being with that kind of DNA. Because one of my clients, she's actually a massive birth coach, and she was saying, we were having a joke, and she was saying, I have the feeling, because she's like in her 60s almost, she said, I have the feeling that when they print humans now, the printer is not working well, and it's creating these people who are chronically not feeling well, wimpy, and like they're not just like these people who are ready to stand up. And even though we see a lot of change, but I have this feeling that It is in the human DNA, and there's something changing in the pattern. I always make jokes that we are actually artificial intelligence becoming aware of itself. That's what we are. We're very advanced artificial intelligent race.
Yes. I
And
believe that
yeah,
I work with the DNA all the time with
yeah,
people. I
yeah,
change their DNA with the
yeah,
energy work.
exactly,
It's
exactly. So
totally
just
possible.
believe we shift the pattern and we
Yes,
shift the print, and then what will happen? And we can do it. Everybody can do it.
yes.
Absolutely everybody. Doesn't mean that you have to go and isolate yourself and meditate for 30 years in
No,
the
no,
jungle.
no. And also things are speeding up anyway. Like it's actually getting a lot easier to change things. Not
Yeah.
so long, doesn't take as long as it used to do. The energy
Mhm.
is so fast. So it's really very possible to get things done.
Absolutely.
Right. So thank you so much for
My
being here
pleasure.
with me today. And why don't you share where people can find you best?
Mhm.
And if there's anything that you have maybe evergreen that people can go and grab, I mean, you can share something that is for now, but I'm not sure when this one is going to come out. So
Mhm.
share something with the audience, and then we're going to wrap up.
Well, because we can't trust in social media, it can disappear any minute now with what we're seeing, what's happening with TikTok. But you can find more information on my website, theempirecircles.com. There's a lot of delicious goodies, free goodies. There's a
Yeah.
whole section. So just go and immerse yourself in the juiciness that I have there. You can connect with me on my website. This is the best place to find me and to see what I'm doing and get to know each other better.
Thank you. So I'll drop those links are going to be in the show notes as well. So people will definitely find that link there. Thank you so
Amazing.
much, Ayo. I'll see you
My
soon
pleasure.
on
Thank
another
you.
note. We'll see, we'll meet up soon and have a fabulous day. And thank you everyone for listening in, and we'll see you in the next episode.